COVID-19 and the pandemic to impact working from home? So do you have to be more flexible with working from home offerings to attract top talent to your bank?
I think that, yes, the scenario that I see is going back 100% to work from the office every day of the week is a very low probability. Having everyone working from home all the time, it is a bad idea, because I think that over time, you will lose a lot of creativity, innovation that comes out of the personal interaction on a day-to-day basis, and you will destroy the culture of the company.
What are you doing for your junior bankers? Some of your rivals came under fire for working them too hard and them not having enough time off.
Junior and senior bankers over these days are working a lot because the volume of transactions has really increased a lot. So we are hiring more juniors and analysts and associates to really support the increase in activity. And juniors want to work hard. They want to be recognized for the hard work they do. They don't want to do things that they are not impactful. They don't want a senior banker to ask them to do 10 turns of a pitch book before the senior banker opens the first page the first time. So they want to be treated respectfully, they want to be recognized, they want to be part of the solution to a client need.
JP Morgan has been in the news non-stop, linked to this European Super League.
Yes.
Is there a reputational damage? I mean, emotions are pretty high regarding this.
It's football. It's very emotional. I don't think that there is a reputational damage here. What I would say is the following. We arrange a loan for a client. It's not our place to decide what is the optimal way for football to operate in Europe and in the UK. So we hope that the Super League, UEFA, FIFA, the national leagues get together and decide what is the way, this Super League way or any other way. And then from there, hopefully it will be better for the game altogether. If through that process this deal happens, or there is any other way that we can support football in the region, we will do it.
But do you feel like you've been dragged into something that you weren't expecting to
we
blow
were
up so much?
expecting this to be emotional. We were expecting to have people to have different opinions, and that is what is happening.
In the fight against COVID-19 worldwide, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has committed a staggering $1.75 billion to vaccine development, distribution, treatments, and more. It's one of the largest sums from any philanthropic effort around the globe. But while mass vaccinations are rapidly approaching, the pandemic is far from over.
That low and most middle-income countries are not receiving the vaccine yet.
Urgent concerns about unequal distribution and recovery remain, and the possibility that not just developing countries, but women across the globe will get left behind. Joining me on this edition of Bloomberg Studio 1.0 to shine a light on the uneven road ahead, co-founder and co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Melinda Gates. Melinda, it's been a year since the pandemic completely changed our world. From your perspective, where are we right now in the fight against COVID?
Well, I think we still have a ways to go. You know, we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel here in the United States, but until all Americans are vaccinated, we still have a ways to go. But, you know, it's going to be a while until the entire world is vaccinated. So this is going to still be with us the next few years. And I think we're going to have to really watch these variants that'll be bouncing around the world. That's actually still quite concerning.
What is it about the variants that concern you?
Well, because every time we know viruses mutate, but when they mutate, you know, they can become sometimes more deadly or more contagious. And so anytime you see these mutations, we need to be on top of them in terms of surveillance. And then we're going to have to figure out, do we need to tune various vaccines to take care of them?
So your foundation has committed $1.75 billion to the fight against COVID. I know your team is very diligent about looking at where and how that money is spent. In your view, where is the vaccine rollout working and what's not working?
Well, I think it's working in some of our high-income countries. We're starting to finally see, you know, much broader distribution, for instance, in the United States and in some of the European countries, but it is not at all working yet for middle and low-income countries. And, you know, those are places where people are struggling. They have their loved ones who get ill. They can't get them to a hospital, much less an ICU. And so they are really still struggling in many countries around the world.
So there's obviously a moral case for vaccine equity, but what about the economic case? Why should somebody in New York or San Francisco care when somebody in Africa gets the vaccine?
Well, absolutely, it's the right moral thing to do. But economically, we're not going to have as swift a recovery in the United States or in Europe if we don't make sure that everybody gets vaccinated. Because what will happen is this disease, you know, we know it crosses borders. We've seen it all over the world. And so as these variants break out, they will absolutely come back into the United States and Europe and Japan. And so our supply chains won't fully be up and running. We won't get our travel industry fully and leisure up and running, or the business community up and running in terms of travel. So economically, if we're going to reopen the